Today, we are going to journey back in time to an era when shoulder pads were the pinnacle of fashion, music resonated from Walkmans, and voluminous hair was the standard. Indeed, we are discussing the 1980s. But what if I informed you that there was a motorcycle that surfaced amidst this stylistic whirlwind and rendered everyone utterly speechless? Suzuki, the renowned Japanese brand that had already been dominating the MotoGP racing tracks, decided it was time to bring what they excelled at, power and speed, directly to the public streets. Introducing the Suzuki RG500 Gamma. Can you imagine having the same tech Barry Sheene used to win world championships right in your garage? It's pure madness. Yet that's exactly what they did. Did they take a motorcycle that was specifically engineered to dominate racing circuits and think, well, what if we simply add lights and a horn to it and allow ordinary individuals to use it? Average individuals weren't adequately prepared. What transpired with the RG500 Gamma is that this motorcycle wasn't merely quick, it was alarmingly swift. If you weren't ready to master it, it would swiftly send you crashing to the ground in mere seconds. Imagine climbing onto a machine with the same ferocity as a racing motorcycle, yet devoid of contemporary electronic assistance. If you committed an error, it was the pavement that imparted the lesson. Let's take a moment to explore how we arrived at this point. During the latter part of the 1970s and the early 1980s, the world of motorcycling was undergoing a true craze for two-stroke engines. And my friends, the two-stroke engine is akin to that friend at the party who begins with ease, but once they get going, you better hold on tight. It was remarkably lightweight, compact, and delivered astonishing power for its size. All the prominent brands were fiercely competing to determine who would dominate this innovative technology. Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, and naturally, Suzuki. But why exactly the two-stroke engines? Well, it's simple. They offered an unbeatable power-to-weight ratio, perfect for competitions. And Suzuki had already shown what they were capable of with their RG500 race bike, the machine with which they dominated MotoGP. The Suzuki RG500 for the track was already a beast, a demon that only the bravest dared to handle. But of course, Suzuki decided it was a good idea to democratize that experience. And thus the Suzuki RG500 Gamma was born. Based on the racing machine, this street version was the closest thing to having a legal racing bike. But don't be fooled. Even though they legalized it for the street, this was a wolf in sheep's clothing. At its core, it was still a machine born to roar on the circuits. And thus, we find ourselves in the year 1985. Suzuki introduces a product to the market that, in today's world, would be unimaginable. Picture this, a motorcycle equipped with a square four-cylinder engine, indeed, four, in a two-stroke engine configuration that generates 94 horsepower. It doesn't sound like much compared to modern superbikes, does it? But wait a second. This beauty weighed only 156 kilos. Weighing just 156 kilograms, considering the power-to-weight ratio, this machine was like a missile. The most remarkable part, though, was that it was fully street legal. As long as you were prepared to cover the expenses for the insurance and the inevitable speeding tickets naturally. The design of the RG500 Gamma was so revolutionary that it appeared almost like a manufacturing error. How could it be that something so track-focused was accessible to the general public? Indeed, Suzuki did it. The engine wasn't just powerful, it was finely tuned to deliver a brutal power punch at high RPMs. What it signified was that if you were not adept at managing it, you risked the motorcycle shaking you like an uncontrollable blender. For seasoned riders, it was an absolute dream realized. For novices, it was akin to attempting to ride a mechanical bull at the most challenging level right from the beginning. And let's certainly not forget the unforgettable sound, that unmistakable roar of the two-stroke engines. Once you heard the powerful roar of the RG500 Gamma, you immediately knew something extraordinary was about to occur. That unique combination of rapid acceleration and the characteristic blue smoke it left trailing behind were its distinctive trademark. And that engine of the RG500 Gamma is truly the genuine hero of this narrative. This engine was not merely powerful, it was genuinely one of a kind. Instead of utilizing the conventional inline or V engine, Suzuki made the decision to innovate with a square four-cylinder design, directly inspired by MotoGP motorcycles. This two-stroke engine employed an advanced multiple carburation system that delivered an optimal blend of air and fuel to maximize power output at elevated RPMs. Essentially, it was a masterpiece of engineering that resembled more a racing gem than a standard street bike engine. And how did this function in practice? Indeed, this engine was meticulously crafted to rattle your very bones. If you were unaware of what you were handling, it was a veritable explosion of power within the elevated rev range. To a certain degree, the motorcycle was quite manageable at lower revolutions, but once you reached the optimal range, it transformed into a rocket. The extremely lightweight aluminum chassis also played a vital role. Weighing in at merely 156 kilograms, the power-to-weight ratio was truly remarkable. In comparison to contemporary motorcycles, it remained a benchmark regarding its lightweight characteristics and exceptional maneuverability. The exhaust system of the RG500 Gamma also merits special mention. It utilized expansion chambers meticulously designed to optimize the flow of exhaust gases, which, in simpler terms, assisted the motorcycle in achieving remarkably high speeds. Are you familiar with that sensation when you embark on a roller coaster ride and right before the descent, your stomach seems to lag behind? Well, that is precisely what occurred every single time you revved up the RG500 Gamma. And when this motorcycle was introduced to the market, it was not merely another bike. It revolutionized the industry. Prior to its introduction, street sports motorcycles were indeed powerful, yet none had managed to come so remarkably close to providing the same exhilarating experience as a genuine racing motorcycle. The RG500 Gamma offered to the public a motorcycle that was essentially a street-legal MotoGP machine. This attracted a dedicated group of motorcycle enthusiasts who desired more than merely a fast bike. They craved that direct connection to the racing tracks, and the RG500 Gamma provided it to them on a silver platter. In Europe, the motorcycle was an overwhelming success. The winding mountainous roads and local racing circuits were teeming with passionate enthusiasts eager to experience the unparalleled adrenaline rush that only the RG500 Gamma could truly provide. In Japan, although regulations limited the engine capacity of motorcycles, Suzuki successfully managed to capture the attention of racing fans with the RG500. Its influence spread to countries where two-stroke motorcycles were a daily staple, and where motorcyclists sought the perfect equilibrium between high performance and lightness. In the United States, where motorcycles with high-displacement engines were already quite popular, the RG500 Gamma also carved out its own niche. It wasn't the top-selling motorcycle, but it certainly left a significant impression among two-wheel enthusiasts. It was frequently regarded as a motorcycle for purists, those who genuinely understood what they were doing when they took control behind the handlebars. During its entire production run, the RG500 Gamma did not undergo significant alterations in its fundamental design, but there were minor evolutions that rendered it more sophisticated, though never less untamed. The initial 1985 version is the most memorable for bringing this groundbreaking concept to the market, but there were also additional versions over the years, each with subtle modifications. The RG500 MEK, introduced in the year 1987, is one of those particular models that collectors actively seek out in today's market. It featured a revised suspension system that was designed to tame the beastly nature of the motorcycle a bit more and make it significantly more controllable, especially in curves, where the earlier versions could become somewhat unpredictable. However, let's not deceive ourselves. The core essence of the RG500 Gamma remained unchanged. Despite these refinements, the motorcycle retained its ferocious character, and although its handling capabilities were enhanced, it was not suited for the faint-hearted. This revision was more nuanced than revolutionary, but it demonstrated Suzuki's dedication to maintaining the RG500 as a competitive motorcycle adapted to the demanding market. Furthermore, Suzuki implemented several modifications to the carburation system to enhance performance across a range of altitudes and in diverse weather conditions, thereby making it somewhat more user-friendly for individuals who desired to take their motorcycle on global adventures, or at least that was the intention. Additionally, we must not overlook the aesthetic alterations, as multiple color schemes were introduced in these versions, providing the bike with an even more thoroughbred appearance. As the 1990s were drawing near, environmental regulations progressively began to tighten the noose around two-stroke motorcycles. The magnificent roars of the RG500 Gamma started to be perceived as not only thunderous, but also excessively polluting. Emission laws became increasingly more stringent, and the demand for cleaner and more efficient four-stroke motorcycles commenced to gain significant momentum. Suzuki made the decision to cease the production of the RG500 Gamma in the year 1987, a choice that left numerous motorcyclists in tears. Despite being among the most exhilarating and technically sophisticated motorcycles of its era, the progression of environmental regulations and the increasing production costs brought an end to the dream of witnessing the range roar on the streets. The conclusion of the production of the RG500 Gamma also signified the conclusion of an era for two-stroke racing motorcycles on the streets. This particular motorcycle was among the last to provide that direct connection with MotoGP machines, and its absence left a void that was never genuinely filled by four-stroke motorcycles. Despite its relatively brief period on the market, the Suzuki RG500 Gamma has left an enduring legacy within motorcycle culture. Its remarkable ability to bring advanced track technology to the streets permanently transformed the perception of what a street sports bike could truly be. Today, many enthusiasts regard the RG500 as one of the most iconic motorcycles in history, and its status as a cult collectible has only continued to grow over time. In the realm of vintage motorcycles, the RG500 Gamma stands as one of the most highly sought-after models. Those fortunate individuals who own one of these remarkable machines today not only have a motorcycle in their possession, but they also hold a significant piece of motorcycling history. The auction market is teeming with enthusiasts eager to pay substantial sums for an RG500 in excellent condition, and discovering one in its original state is regarded as akin to uncovering the Holy Grail. Furthermore, the RG500 Gamma has inspired numerous generations of motorcyclists and motorcycle designers alike. Even though two-stroke motorcycles have nearly vanished from the market, the concept of transferring racing technology to the streets persists in contemporary models. Modern superbikes, equipped with their sophisticated suspension systems, traction controls, and immensely powerful engines, owe a significant debt to Suzuki's audacity in introducing the RG500 Gamma. In today's world, if you happen to spot a Suzuki RG500 Gamma on the street, or more commonly at a classic motorcycle gathering, you are aware that you are in the presence of something truly extraordinary. These motorcycles are not only scarce, but they are also treasured for their rich history and their remarkable ability to age gracefully. While numerous motorcycles from the 1980s seem outdated or challenging to handle when compared to contemporary models, the RG500 continues to be immensely enjoyable and thrilling to ride. Sure, it doesn't have the electronic aids of today's bikes, but that's where its charm lies, because riding an RG500 is a raw, pure, and unfiltered experience. It doesn't help you, it doesn't warn you when you're about to lose control. It's just you and the machine like in the old days. Furthermore, the customization industry has discovered a fresh arena in the Suzuki RG501. Numerous owners have meticulously restored these motorcycles, maintaining them in pristine show condition, or even augmenting them with contemporary components such as upgraded suspensions and high-performance braking systems. While these restoration enthusiasts strive to retain the original authenticity of the range, there are others who have boldly ventured to customize them, crafting distinctive versions that seamlessly blend the classic elements with modern innovations. Conversely, nostalgia holds a significant role. For motorcycle aficionados who matured during the 1980s, the RG500 Gamma represents a fragment of their youthful days, a motorcycle they admired from a distance. In the present day, individuals who have the financial means pursue these motorcycles to relive that exhilarating sense of wonder and velocity. The auctions and collector forums are replete with narratives of passionate enthusiasts who have ultimately obtained their dream motorcycle, comparable to the CBR 1000 or R of the present day. The Suzuki RG500 Gamma was not merely another motorcycle. It was a true icon of its era, a machine that seamlessly integrated the most cutting-edge racing engineering with the exhilarating thrill of street riding. Today, it is still remembered as one of the most exciting and challenging motorcycles ever built. Its impact on the world of motorcycling is felt to this day, not only because of the legacy it left in sports bikes, but also because of the cult that has grown around it. In summary, the RG500 Gamma was and continues to be a legend, and although it is no longer produced, its spirit lives on in every motorcyclist who seeks that pure and unadulterated adrenaline that only a two-stroke machine can offer. If you ever happen to encounter one, remember that you are in the presence of a genuine legend, a motorcycle that was capable of bringing MotoGP to the streets and leaving an unforgettable mark on the history of motorcycling. Thus, dear friends, the Suzuki RG500 Gamma demonstrated to us that sometimes the most exceptional things come in compact packages filled with blue smoke, a sound that sends shivers down your spine, a legend that left enduring scars on the asphalt and in the hearts of those who had the privilege to ride it. So if you come across one, respect it. It's not just any motorcycle, it's the beast that brought racing to everyday life.